Hey everyone, it's Smitha. Today I am super excited because we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of new lipsticks from MAC. And these are the Lustreglass Sheer Shine lipsticks. This is a currently existing line to MAC, but they have done a shade extension. So what we're going to be doing is swatching and trying on a whole bunch of shades. At the time that I'm making this video, these are currently available on the MAC website and the Ulta website. I'm going to link everything. Thank you so much if you use my links, as they really do help my channel. Let's go ahead and get into it. And before I get too far into it, I do want to let you know I have the new palette from Blend Bunny that was done in collaboration with May Pang. This is the Fauna palette. That's what I have on my eyes. Here is what it looks like on the inside. This is my dream matte palette, so I'm so excited to have the chance to play around with it. Okay, the first shade that I have is called Lil Squirt, and I believe that this one is named after one of their lip plumpers. Now, I was really excited for a green bullet, but to be honest with you, this is basically like a clear bomb, which is what their lip plumpers like too. I wish they would just give us a green lipstick, but let's go ahead and try it on. I couldn't resist at least trying it. Now for someone like me who has pigmented lips, this is definitely not really going to show a green tint. If you have really light lips, it might, but I don't know. Maybe if you just really layer it up. Here is what it looks like with flash. There are kind of very small, fine green sparkles in it. Okay, the next shade we have is called Sunny Vanilla, and this is described as being a sheer banana that has yellow and reddish pearl and sparkle in it. And I do feel like compared to a Lil Squirt, you can definitely see that shimmer quite a bit more. This would definitely be fun as like a topper shade as well. Let's go ahead and try it on. I really enjoy the balmy texture of these lipsticks. They feel incredibly moisturizing on the lips. Here is what the shade Sunny Vanilla looks like. And with flash as well. Okay, the next shade we have is called Posh Pit. Now this is one of their lipsticks that doesn't have shimmer in it. They have some that have shimmer and some that don't. And this is described as a warm rose brown nude. Here's what it looks like swatched on the back of my hand. I do feel like this one is going to be a good nude shade on me. I tried to pick shades that I felt were gonna flatter my skin tone best. Okay, that is beautiful. Even without a liner, this one looks super pretty, although I will just put on a little bit so you can see what it looks like with a liner as well. Here is Posh Pit. And with flash. I'm going to add a little bit of the KJH Precision Sculpture Stilo, and this is the shade Engrave. KJH brand just announced today that they're coming to Sephora, which is super exciting. And here's what the shade Posh Pit looks like applied with lip liner. All right, next shade we have is called Can't Dull My Shine. This is simply described as a rich brown. Now, there's no mention in their description, but to me, this is a warmer toned leaning brown shade. This is another one I think will be a nice nude on my skin tone. but definitely warmer than the shade that I just tried on. I'd actually say this shade has a little bit of terracotta to it. It's a nice nude on my skin tone for summer going into fall. Okay, the next shade we have is called Been There, Done That. This is described as a rosy plum pink. Here is what it looks like swatched. This one I think will also be good on me without a lip liner. Now, I've mentioned this before, I kind of shy away from like super bright pinks, and I feel like this one is nude enough. Yeah, this is definitely a tone of pink that I can get on board with. Again, this is the shade Been There, Done That. I do think that this one I may prefer wearing with a little bit more definition. So I am going to go in with a little bit of that same liner engrave. Here is what Been There, Done That looks like with a little bit more liner. All right, next we have the shade Spice It Up. This is described as a deep reddish nude. Here is what it looks like swatched in the back of my hand. This actually reminds me a little bit of the shade Paramount in one of their other lines. Red is another tone that sometimes I shy away from a little bit. It has to be like not too bright for me to want to gravitate toward it. But I do feel like this one is a little bit more on the wearable side for me. Another shade that I feel like is good for summer going into fall. Okay, this is Local Celeb, and this is described as a burnt orange. And I have to say, ever since Lisa Eldridge came out with her recent Marilyn Monroe collection, I've been more open to trying oranges. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. So I feel like this shade is going to be up my alley. Let's go ahead and try it. I think the key is that it isn't like a super bright orange. It is a burnt orange. This is a really pretty color. Here is what Local Celeb looks like. And I will go ahead and add some liner to this as well, just in case you're curious what that would look like. And here it is with a little bit of lip liner. I actually think I like it both ways, but I may slightly prefer it with the liner. Okay, I saved some of the deeper shades to the end. This is the shade It's Yours. Here's what it looks like in the bullet. And this one is described as a deep reddish berry. This one I think will be really flattering for medium to deeper skin tones. I like that with all of these lipsticks, they are buildable. You can wear them for more of a wash if you want, or build them up for a full opacity. For some of the richer shades, you do need to build them up just to avoid kind of it not looking fully even. Here is the shade It's Yours. Again, I like that this is sort of like a wearable berry, if that makes sense. Like it's not too bright. I think this one is one of my favorites so far. Okay, the last of the newer shades that I got is called Housewife, and this one is described as a deep reddish brown with subtle red pearl. So I'm curious to see if we'll be able to see the pearl in this one. It's pretty subtle, honestly, but maybe when we try it on. Ooh, this is another really good wearable deeper shade. Has a hint of red to it, but it's not too bright. And just because I'm curious about that pearl, let's look with flash as well. Honestly, I'm not sure I detect that pearl too much. Maybe it just gives it a little bit of extra dimension. Okay, since we are doing a video all about the Lustreglass Sheer Shine lipsticks, I am going to try on the older shades that I have as well. Starting off with Alone Time, which this is a shade that has gone super viral in the past year or so because it's a cool toned nude. I do think that this one is especially flattering if you have a lighter skin tone, but I do feel like I can definitely make it work with a liner. So I added a little bit more liner. Let's go ahead and apply it. I really like this shade, don't get me wrong, but I definitely have to wear a generous amount of liner with it. I know I've tried on several lipsticks before this, but here is what Alone Time looks like applied. It's a really cool and unique shade. I almost feel like it has a little bit of a purple leaning undertone to it. All right, the next Lustreglass Sheer Shine lipstick that I had from previously is Signature Move. Here is what the shade Signature Move looks like. And just so you can see those side by side, Alone Time and Signature Move, these are fairly similar, but I feel like Signature Move just has a little bit more warmth to it. So this is Signature Move and this is Alone Time. Yeah, I think you can clearly see the undertone difference between the two shades. I'm not sure which of the two shades flatters me more. I feel like it might be Signature Move. Here is what Signature Move looks like. Okay, second to last shade we have is called Uncensored. I would describe this as a rich, neutral brown tone shade. This is definitely a comfort zone, a type of shade for me. Kind of like a perfect 90s brown grunge lip. Last but not least, we have the shade Succumb to Plum, which is definitely the deep, moody purple lipstick that I don't know why more people aren't talking about. Here is what it looks like applied to the back of my hand. This one I do feel like looks a little bit better with a liner, but this is a gorgeous shade. I'm gonna go in with a slightly deeper liner. This is Forge, actually a very deep liner from KJH. It's like almost black, very, very rich brown, and just add the smallest amount. All right, here is Succumb to Plum with a little bit of lip liner. It's a gorgeous shade. Definitely let me know in the comments if you've heard about it or tried it. All right, now that we've had a chance to go through everything and try on a bunch of new lipsticks from MAC in the Lustreglass Sheer Shine line, I am curious to know which are your favorite shades. I have some old favorites, I have some new favorites. I feel like Signature Move and Succumb to Plum are my older favorites. And I will put in a pinned comment which of the shades I tried on from the new shades are my favorite, because I'm still kind of mulling that over. Let me know in the comments if you plan to pick up any of the new shades. I was super excited about this extension because honestly, the Lustreglass Sheer Shine lipsticks I think are my favorite formula from MAC. If you made it to the end of my video, please leave me a lipstick emoji. As always, I really hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.